Hello, this is my Crazy Ex channel. Please subscribe.
My best friend told me she cheated on her boyfriend of 8 months. I have no idea what to do. Story 1-2. My F22 best friend F22, let's call her Rosie, told me she cheated on her boyfriend M25 of 8 months. Let's call him Kevin. My friend and I have been best friends since we were born and we've been through everything together. I was super shocked when she told me what she had done. She basically told me that she confessed her love for a guy M22 and let's call him Ron. Ron is in her school program and they hooked up a couple times before she was in a relationship with Kevin. From what she told me, they confessed their love for each other, kissed, and had sex. She told me that she's only going to tell me about what happened and maybe her older sister to get advice. I asked her if she was going to tell Kevin and she said she was planning on it. So, I reached out to her the next day and asked how she was feeling. She said that she hung out with Kevin last night and it was so great and so fun and that she loves him so much. I then asked if she's going to tell Kevin. She said no. She said they're so happy together, she really likes being with him, and that it only happened once so it's not a big deal. I am incredibly angry with her. Kevin is such a great guy and he does not deserve this at all. I've also been cheated on and I would want to know right away if my so was cheating. My friend doesn't know how angry I am yet. She's one of my only friends and I don't want to lose her, but I also think what she did is horrible. I can't decide if I should just stay out of it, tell Kevin, or talk to Rosie about it more and how she needs to tell Kevin what she did. Either way, I'd rather not lose my best friend over this, but it's completely going against my morals and boundaries that Kevin is blind to all of this. TLDR, best friend cheated and I can't decide if I should tell her boyfriend or stay out of it. I also don't want to lose my best friend if I do tell her BF about it. Update, I talked to Rosie more about the situation, how I felt, and really encouraged her to tell Kevin what happened. She told Kevin ASAP and they broke up. She told me she's so grateful I talked to her and made her realize her mistake. I'm still upset that she did this in the first place, but I'm glad she confessed. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, would you want to know if your BF cheated on you? Redditor 2, cheaters depend on others to keep their creepy lives secret. Expose her. Redditor follow up, yeah, I think whatever you do says a lot about you and who you want to be. I think you should definitely talk to her first, and if she doesn't seem like she is gonna tell him, then give her a deadline. If you cannot be honest with Kevin by the end of the week, morally I feel like I have too. A true friend and mature person will understand this. Be careful though, because this could lead to her doing shady shit later on and just not telling you about it anymore. This is tough because you guys are long-term friends, but time is just a number. You grow and change, and there are signs when people aren't doing the same. Think about what's more important to you. What you believe in or your friends' trust. Redditor 3, if you rather not lose a friend over her cheating on her boyfriend, then it does not go against your morals and boundaries. You are fine keeping her as a friend. It is someone cheating on you goes against your morals and boundaries. Your best friend would cheat on her boyfriend, just think what she would do to you if it benefits her. Do you really want someone who thinks that cheating is no big deal as your best friend? You need to find better friends. You are at a great age to do so. You need to have her tell him, or if she will not, you tell him. There is a great chance you will lose a so-called friend, but sooner or later she is going to do something to screw you over. Her actions towards Kevin have shown she is only out for herself. Redditor follow up, it's not just the cheating that's bad. It's the cheating and then choosing to withhold it because she doesn't want to face the consequences. To me, the latter is even worse than the cheating. Redditor 4, tell me with who you walk and I'll tell you who you are. He will definitely learn in the future about this because no cheating remains secret forever, and if you keep your silence he gonna hate you just like her and her sister, and your integrity will be dragged through the mud anyway. Better find evidence and accidentally show him. Redditor 5, it sucks when you find out someone you've known and loved your whole life is a self-centered douchebag. But that's where you are. You can't stay out of it now, thanks to her telling you, which was hugely unfair position to put you in, and should piss you off all by itself. She brought you into it, so now you have to follow what you think is right. I could never forgive myself if Kevin wasted years of his life because she lied about cheating. And I can tell you this, if you tell Kevin, and she gets mad at you and doubles down on her Dutchiness. Instead of acknowledging she ducked up and accepting the consequences, she was never really a friend. Op answer, seriously though. I think I've gotta try to get her to admit it to him. Which still sucks to do. I would feel terrible if she and Kevin dated for much longer. Redditor 6, you should talk to your best friend about this and guide her towards doing the right thing. Do not take matters into your own hands and tell her boyfriend yourself. She needs to have the integrity and honesty to tell her boyfriend, this isn't your battle to fight. Redditor follow up, I completely agree with this. She should convince her friend to do the right thing without becoming involved in their drama. Redditor 7, hey bestie. Because you're my bestie, I'm letting you know beforehand that either you're going to tell Kevin or I am. I guess you have until the end of the week. If you're my bestie back, you'll understand why I need to do this. If she has a problem with that, well, she's a crappy person, and crappy people make crappy friends anyway. Redditor 8, yeah. Hate to break it to you, but you're probably gonna lose a friend. AITA, I agree that you need to tell her she needs to tell him. If she isn't going to tell him, I personally would not be able to have enough respect for her to be her friend anymore. TBH might already be there where you are at now. But you should tell her that she needs to tell him, period, and if she won't, he deserves to know. Redditor 9, your friend sucks, since she's your best friend she would have known about you being cheated on, yet she's still bragging about being a cheater in front of you. Redditor 10, you are the company you keep. If she does not change her behavior and confess to cheating on him, I don't think you should stay friends. I personally would not be able to. Redditor 11, this is always a tricky situation. Your loyalties lie with Rosie as you two have been best friends for a long time. However, you have to debate with yourself about doing the right thing or supporting your friend, remembering you don't agree with what she's done. It's not particularly your place to tell Kevin what has happened, but then again you have experience in this situation. Sorry about that, by the way. You know what it's like to be on his end, which is especially shitty for her to ask you to help keep her secret. Sometimes doing the right thing is worth losing a relationship with someone who doesn't hold the same values that you do. Good luck with whatever you choose. Op answer, exactly this 100%. I think I'm gonna talk to her first and try to get her to tell him. If she doesn't, then I have no idea. Redditor 12, how did Rosie react when you told her you had been cheated on by your former partner? Was she sympathetic, enraged, dismissive? If she was the former and not the latter, it would be a good segue to understand how unacceptable her cheating on Kevin really is. Making her see herself in your ex's cheating shoes might snap her back to reality. Also, she might understand how much her expecting you to carry her secret negatively affects you. If she's really a lifetime friend, she should care how this situation affects you. Either way, you have to decide what you're willing to live with. 1. Tell Kevin and perhaps lose Rosie as a friend, but know you maintained your morals. 2. Don't tell Kevin, he'll probably find out eventually since it doesn't seem like Rosie will stop, and or 3. Have Rosie make you part of her dishonesty. Hope it all works out either way. Op answer, Rosie was pretty dismissive and nonchalant when I told her my ex cheated. Pretty hurtful. I talked to her again to see if she'll tell Kevin. The more I think about it, I can't be associated with her dishonesty. Like lots of people are saying, you are the company you keep. Redditor 13, for this poor innocent man's sake, please tell him. As you said yourself, he doesn't deserve this. And your friend may learn her lesson in future relationships. Redditor 14, time to stop being friends with a shitty person. What a loss. Redditor 15, you are the company that you keep. If you help Rosie hide her affair, you are no better than her. If you can't out her, you need to walk away. Redditor 16, I once found out that a friend of mine was cheating with his girlfriend. He didn't see anything wrong, guys do that, he said. I told his girlfriend. She ended the relationship with him, and I lost contact with my friend. It hurts that I lost my friendship, but I would have not been able to live with myself if I didn't tell her. That would have bothered me more long term. Redditor 17, poor ducking Kevin man, RIP, God bless that man's soul. Just tell her to tell Kevin that she did it. She deserves what's coming, to be honest. If she refuses to, then just don't talk with her honestly at all. I'm sorry you also were cheated on. You'll find someone who will never cheat on you one day, I promise. Wish you the best on this situation. Op answer, Thanks so much. I've talked to her again and said she needs to tell him. We'll see what she does. I told her if she doesn't then I will. I can't keep her secret, it's against what I think is best. Redditor 18, Op, I've dropped friends because they said and did things that didn't align with my value system. It made my support circle smaller and my friend number dwindle, but ultimately I feel more in line with myself than if I'd stayed friends. I suggest telling her boyfriend and then dealing with the fallout of not having her as a friend. Op answer, I agree with you. It's gonna be hard, but I think I'll ultimately have to tell him if she doesn't soon. I can't live knowing I could have helped Kevin in the long run. Redditor 19, express your concerns to her. Make sure to bring up the correlation between how getting cheated on made you feel, and how Kevin would probably feel. Explain that you are not comfortable with her treating a good boyfriend like this. If she gets upset at you and refuses to tell him, then you know the friendship is just as good as over. Change is inevitable, even if the friendship was decades long, sometimes your friends aren't who they used to be. And let me tell you, cheaters always go back to cheating. Redditor 20, I would talk to her and tell her that is in fact a big deal, and let her know how you really feel about it. If she continues to be dismissive and play this two-sided game, then I would tell both of the men she is disloyal to, and let her lie in the bed she has made. Hope that she can see her error, and understand your position, but if she cannot, maybe it is time for a new phase and new friends. Story 22, just found out my wife cheated on me while we were engaged. We've been married for 1 year. Hi Reddit. I need a place to vent and hopefully work out my feelings. I'm on mobile, so please excuse any typos. My wife and I were high school sweethearts and dated on and off through college, and things were going really well in 2015. In May of 2016 I asked for her to marry me and she accepts. She had just graduated college, but about 3 weeks earlier her grandfather died. FFW 3 weeks post-engagement she tells me she needs time to get over the passing of her grandfather. I thought this was strange because I was her rock and was there for her through every bit of it. I assumed she meant she wanted to spend time with friend and family. FFW another month and she says she's talking to someone else. This crushed me because she still had the engagement ring, so I thought she still loved me and we'd be getting back together soon. She ended up coming back to me in fall 2016 and saying how sorry she was and begged for me to take her back. I did without hesitation. FFW to last week when I looked through some old messages from summer of 2016 and saw that she'd been screwing other guys the whole time. This brought back my depression and I honestly don't know if I love her anymore. I can't look at her without grimacing from the pain. I brought it back up and she was immediately defensive about the subject, and claimed that I knew about this. I honestly didn't, and never would have thought she would do this to me, then beg for me to take her back. I really didn't know who I was marrying. I feel like I've been betrayed and how I'll ever get over this feeling. This year of marriage has been good. But I am so unsure about the future. What happens when another loved one dies? What will she do then? Why did she leave me, lie about it, and come back to me? I'd what to do. Thanks for reading. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, how come when someone needs time it means they're getting strange? Redditor 2, she ended up coming back to me in fall 2016 and saying how sorry she was and begged for me to take her back. I did without hesitation. This was the second biggest mistake of your life. The biggest mistake will be to stay in this marriage. 1. You don't love her anymore. 2. You can't look at her without feeling disgust. 3. She is gaslighting you about you knowing of her time with other men. 3. You would not have married her if you knew the truth. I think you're too young to spend the rest of your life with someone untrustworthy, disloyal, and that you find disgusting. The easy thing to do is to stay in this marriage and suffer and slowly chip away at your own self-worth. That's what most people do. I hope you have enough support from family and friends to find the strength to do the right thing and leave. Redditor follow-up. The "you should have known I was cheating" is the equivalent of his wife should have known he was stepping out on her from a side piece, and are both complete bullshit. Almost as bad as unconditional forgiveness and emotional self-flagellation. Redditor 3, this guy is obviously going to take his wife back. Everyone please spam F in the chat for this poor soul who doesn't know self-respect. Redditor follow-up. What I don't understand is how can most guys stay with them. There's some guys who would stay in a asexual sexless relationship just to have girlfriend. Other guys would rather be in a one-side open relationship. Redditor 4, so what part of I'm seeing other people did you not understand? Redditor 5, so you were broken up in her mind, but not in yours. But why would she have to beg you to take her back if you were together and committed the whole time? I mean, you were apart for months. I really don't get your thought process on this. Redditor follow-up, she said she was talking to someone else and it crushed him. I'm very confused as to what he is finding out. Op comment, I also want to add that once I told her I knew about it, she became very upset and was no longer defensive. She has been crying a lot and I feel terrible that I brought this back up, but it hurts so bad. Redditor follow-up, so she cheats on you, cries and you're the one that feels bad. Classic. She's definitely taking you to the cleaners if you divorce. Redditor 7, throw her out. She is trash. She cannot unduck and unsuck the DCK. You taking her back literally showed her you have no spine and that there are no consequences. Expect more cheating, not less. Redditor 8, I'm looking for clarification, not trying to justify her actions. Did she cheat, or did she break up with you, go on a break and then sleep with other men? The two are very different, even though the emotional impact may not be. If you were on a break, and if she was sleeping with other people, then that's different than her cheating. It's certainly not good, but is a lot different than being in a relationship and sleeping with someone else. You assumed when you were on a break she was not sleeping with anyone else. She neglected to correct that assumption when you got back together. Again, not great from a relationship standpoint, but still not cheating. She may have gotten cold feet, or otherwise been trying to work things out after getting engaged. You have to decide if you can overlook what happened. And even if you can, you need to decide how likely she is to do something like this again. Until you can answer those questions, it's hard to know what the path forward here is, but it definitely sounds like there's issues to work through. Have you considered relationship counseling? Redditor follow-up, seems she gave him the impression she was just going to be alone to grieve, not take a break. She even took her engagement ring with her. Redditor 9, I'm confused, to me it sounds like you guys broke up, she dated other people, then you got back together. It doesn't sound to me like she said, I want to be together but I don't want to see you for a year, but I'll be faithful during that time. Maybe you had a misunderstanding about what the break was. This sounds exactly like the Ross-Rachel dilemma but with the genders reversed. Redditor follow-up, and also for a way longer period of time where Ross literally says, I'm seeing someone else. What? Redditor 10, she says she's talking to someone else. Translation, I'm screwing around and looking at all my options. Should have ended things right there. First mistake. When she chose to come back to you, that wasn't a win for you, that was a loss. She ended up coming back to me in fall 2016 and saying how sorry she was and begged for me to take her back. I did without hesitation. Really? No hesitation whatsoever? You didn't make her take however long you needed in order for her to verify her authenticity to you? Second mistake. I really didn't know who I was marrying. Sure you did. You just refused to see it. You were marrying a girl that just made you an option while you made her a priority. But I am so unsure about the future. What happens when another loved one dies? What will she do then? Who cares? By then you should have long been broken up with her and she won't be your problem anymore. Why did she leave me, lie about it, and come back to me? Because she could. Because you let her. I'd what to do. Quit allowing her the opportunity to duck you over again. Get rid of her and choose a better quality of person to have a relationship with. Op comment, she told me she needed time. My thoughts were that she wanted to spend time with family and college friends before they went back home. I remember breaking down and begging her to tell me if someone else was in the picture and she told me there wasn't. A month or so later she said she was talking to someone else. I didn't hear much from her until the fall when she reached back out to me. Soon after she begged me to take her back and said she was so sorry for leaving me, blaming the ordeal on alcoholism and losing her grandfather. At one point in the fall she saw me texting someone, a classmate, and freaked out on me because she thought I was talking to a girl. This made me think that she really was on a break and cared about me. Redditor 12. Divorce. Redditor 13, she thought the grass was greener on the other side, it wasn't. Divorce and get an STD check, or do you say STI now? ASAP. Op answer, is an STD check necessary if I haven't noticed anything different about my body since being together? I never thought about it, but it may be worth doing just in case. Redditor 14, get out while you can. You have already screwed up by taking her back, and if you are already having doubts, get a divorce and move on immediately. Redditor follow up, this. It was a short marriage, no support, divide the wedding gifts, poof. She's gone. On to more men. She'll never quit, honey, there will always be other guys. I'm sorry, baby hugs. Redditor 15, what happens when another loved one dies? This really doesn't sound like it was related to her mourning her grandfather. As you said yourself, it didn't make sense for someone grieving to leave the person that was their rock to go have casual hookups. It sounds more likely the death made her rethink where she was and where she was going. More specifically, what marriage meant and what she might be missing out on, like causal hookups. Obviously it didn't live up to her expectations and she came crawling back. I'd consider this a betrayal personally. Up to you if it's worth fighting for, but you can never unlearn or forget this information. So either you learn to live with it or end it. Otherwise you will end up resenting her for the rest of your life. Redditor 16, here's the problem: when it happens once, it will happen again. Any person in your position who stays in a relationship like this will have a story on Reddit about being married for 15 years, and discovering an ongoing affair for 7 of them. Here's some advice: when your lover says they need time, or they want to take a break, this means they want to hook up with other people. You may love her and who she is as a person, but if you stay in this relationship, you will become undoubtedly miserable. When you discovered she had been seeing other people, that was your ticket to not take her back, because now she knows she can walk all over you. She will be screwing other men, and using you as a support system. Don't be a support system. Unfortunately for you, you've married this person, which will come with consequences. However, count your blessings that A, you didn't have kids with her, and B, you weren't being cheated on for longer. Redditor follow up, this needs to be top comment. The cycle of need time suck guy beg forgiveness will happen over and over. Redditor 17, at best this is a tragic misunderstanding, miscommunication. At worst. Well, it's already at the worst pretty much. The only question that remains is, do you want to stay with her? If not, there is plenty of other Redditors who have provided advice on lawyering up, etc. If you plan on keeping the relationship afloat, you're going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting. Honestly, for me, this would break everything. It's right to be in pain and hurt. But you need to answer the above question honestly. And it will have huge ramifications for the rest of your life. Redditor 18, realistically, is this something you'll be able to forget? Redditor 19, you were on a break. Or, more accurately, she was. This isn't a surprise finding. You willfully ignored it when you took her back. Redditor 20, she should have been honest and given you the ring back the moment she started going after other men. Instead, she strung you along while she had her fill, under the guise of needing time to mourn. She kept the ring. I wonder if she wore it while she was getting down with other dudes? Just picture her giving a handy, that ring rubbing up and down another man's DCK. It's pretty symbolic of how much respect she has for what it represents, and how much respect she has for you in general. Then she lied and trickle-truthed you, only admitting to talking to one other guy. No mention of the fact she was screwing multiple people. And she didn't confess. You had to go through her phone to discover the truth. It was a mistake on your part to take her back, but that is hindsight, as she lied to you about what she did while you were apart. The good news is it has only been a year of marriage. At least you didn't find this out 5-10 years down the road. You can fix that mistake now and save yourself from further heartache, instead of wasting any more time with her. But if for some reason you stay with her, just know that you may never get over this and it will eat away at you like cancer. You should also be fully prepared for more lies and unfaithfulness further down the road.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.